Dingus, what's up? Concert review of Devil Wears Prada. Yeah, at the Chameleon Club. It's March 27th. And this show started so fucking early. Doors were at 5 o'clock. It didn't start till 6. It's the Take Action Tour, featuring The Devil Wears Prada, The Ghost Inside, I Killed the Prom Queen, and Danger Kids. And basically with the Take Action Tour, 10% of every ticket sold that money goes towards some charity that's kind of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation charity. Something like that. So it goes towards a good cause, which is cool. And so yeah, we're here to talk about this shit. First band was Chorus. I mean Danger Kids.
You or me? Alright, now, bands come around nowadays, and they're around for like 6 months, and they get a record deal, and they sell a ton of shirts and whatever they put their logo on or something like that. And a lot of time people give these bands a hard time because, you know, they're not too original, and they're not, you know, the best thing out there. They're just kind of mediocre, and I think this is one of those bands. Live, I can't really hear the guitars. Not like I would need to. It seemed like all they did was play chords and stuff. I mean, it's like every song was a chorus. Like, I didn't hear verses and these riffs and stuff that lead up into a chorus. I heard like a pre-chorus that led up into a chorus, which had an after-chorus, and then a pre-chorus into the next chorus. And it was just like, you take a chorus that hits like it should. You know, it's nice, it's catchy, it's big, it's everything. It's like eating a delicacy. You can't eat it every day, and you can't play this big grand song and hit like the same chorus notes, and you know, while singing they hit the same notes and go into the notes the same way, the same transition into notes, and it feels like the same lyrics and everything. It just bothered the hell out of me. It was boring to watch. I mean, you could talk like rock bands, they use chords a lot or whatever, but rock is just different. You know, it's not just chords. They have verses and, you know, some differentials, but this band, I mean, the singer, the one dude with the beard, yeah, he had a pretty decent scream or whatever you want to call it. And his singing, he was a good singer, I think. It's just wrong band, wrong stuff. And the backing, whatever stuff they had to back them up was just way too loud. They didn't have a keyboard player. You think they would have a keyboard player, but they didn't have a keyboard player.
Yeah. Rock bands, they might play very simplistic music sometimes, but one thing that they do to add to their performance is showmanship. This band had nothing of that. They came on wearing these black shirts with 2 arrows on it. I don't understand what the fuck.
Some kind of gimmick that just didn't hit.
That won't even catch on, and no one will give a fuck. They had a chick drummer. She was kind of cool. She wasn't bad. She was interesting to watch and stuff, but literally, that's about it to me. You couldn't hear the guitars, but I don't think I really wanted to, because all it was the most awful breakdowns and most awful unoriginal breakdowns that I swear everybody fucking does. I felt like I was at the Champ watching Champ bands. Like, this band isn't that much better than anything that we would see at the Champ.
To give you a hint on what the breakdowns we're talking about, it's that breakdown where you know it's so generic that they have to turn to the side.
Oh, yeah.
That whole turn to the side and jump up and down thing.
It was funny. We've never listened to this band before, and we were standing there. The lights went out. They were about to come on. He was like, I bet you $10 we're going to start with a breakdown. That's exactly what they started with. And they're one of those bands that play the breakdowns, and they have this synth shit going on during their breakdowns. Yet, like Sam said, no keyboard player. The amount of backing tracks that this band had was fucking... they ought to be embarrassed. They honestly should, because basically they recorded this music and they can't perform it live. They can't do it. They don't have enough members to do it. They edited their music too much, and that's just embarrassing.
Should be against the law.
I mean, yeah, you can add a little something to your recording, maybe just a guitar harmony or something that maybe you can play a backing track live, then it's only like 5 seconds long, not the whole fucking goddamn song. And the vocals were, at first I was like, okay, this band can write a chorus. I mean, I'm not digging anything else, but they can write a chorus and they have some alright vocal harmonies, but then towards the end of their set, I was like, I can't fucking stand this anymore. I don't care if they can write a chorus or not. They all sound the same. All the vocal harmonies are the same. And then, to add it on top of that, they rap. And I can't rap. I'm not even going to try to rap. But this dude didn't fucking rap. And I know he didn't. It was like... It was seriously like he was 12... And he was like, Mom, hey, look, I can rap. And she's like, you're so good, honey. And he's like, I can follow my dream, and I'm a rapper now.
I found Linkin Park today. I want to try this.
And it's just like, every single pattern to the rap was the fucking same as the last song. And then to add it on top of that, he had his hope speech during the middle of their set. About you should follow your dreams. You should never give up. You should have hope. You should be yourself. I swear, if I have to hear another band fucking say that shit, I'm just gonna punch a dick, man. Because I'm so sick of bands going up there telling you to follow your dreams. You follow your dreams. No one needs to tell you to follow your dreams. You follow your own fucking dreams. You don't need some touring musician that probably doesn't give a single fuck about you. All they look out in the crowd and see is dollar signs to tell you that you need to follow your dreams. Like, I don't understand that. And I'm kind of ranting on a completely different topic. It's like... But it just fucking bothers me. It really does.
Follow your dreams, and you can also be in a mediocre band.
Yeah.
That opens on a tour that just... They shouldn't be opening. It should have been like... I mean, I'm a little biased, but Counterparts, or 100th, or a nice hardcore band, or a band that kind of can roll with, like, The Devil Wears Prada and The Ghost Inside, and, you know, not a band that just gets... kind of laughed at.
And I mean, you can sing about, like, I feel, we'll get to it later, but I feel The Ghost Inside, you know, they sing about positive things, and I feel that they actually stand behind their message, and they're not just doing it just to sell fucking records and look cool, and have people believe in them. This band is just another one to fall into the crowd. No one's going to fucking care about them in 2 years. Then you're going to go on lambgoat.com and you're going to see Danger Kids break up, and then you're going to laugh because everybody's telling them to kill themselves in the comments. And that's literally what's going to happen with this band. But whatever. They're on Warped Tour if you want to go see them. And I went in there with an open mind to this band. Maybe they'll be slightly impressive. And they weren't. And the guitarist looked bored as fuck, and I don't really blame him. He was saying how it's like every chorus sounded like there was like 18 people singing along, and there really was. It was just
not even loud. Like people in the crowd. I'm talking about like backing tracks, and every chorus. I can't even say chorus. Like every song, like all the. I guess he was a bass player, and the two vocalists. All three of them were singing. It still didn't sound like enough. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah. I mean. Just kind of, you know, don't do that.
No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you like this band or whatever, go see them. Don't care what I think. I just, you know, I've been around music for a little bit. I'm not like 80 or anything, but I mean, it's just kind of whatever.
There's just no energy to this set at all. It was like the same 4-foot breakdown.
One last thing that I have to say, that's just a minor complaint. It's okay to go up on stage, you know, if you try to, you have to put this, you know, confidence in yourself to go up there and say, yeah, I'm gonna give it to these people. Like, you know, Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel probably doesn't go up there, oh, I wonder if I'm gonna mess up, or JB and Brent from August Burns Red, oh, what if I mess this up? They go up there and they're confident, they're gonna have fun. But I feel like if you're that bad and you're that boring. You can't be confident. You can't go up there and we'll put our hands in and go woo and have some gimmick with our shirts and it just you shouldn't be that confident. I don't want to I don't like tearing people down too much. I love it sometimes, but I don't like it all the time. But I mean, I feel it's just for their own good. Just another just another band.
Yeah, we spent the first 10.5 minutes just talking about one
Holy
band.
crap.
So, next was I Killed the Prom Queen. They're a metalcore band.
From Aussie, mate.
Yeah, from Australia.
Australia.
So, what'd you think of I Killed the Prom Queen?
I checked them out before. I didn't care for the vocals too much. I feel like that might be a common thing with the band because it's just kind of raw, sort of undeveloped vocals, but they work sometimes. Jonah Weinhoffen, I thought it was pretty cool to see him because I'm like, oh yeah, he was in Bring Me the Horizon, and yeah, that's kind of cool. But he looked like a Viking with his beard and everything, and I felt like he was too quiet whenever he tried to sing, or yeah, I felt he was quiet. The main vocalist, aside of the vocals, he was cupping the mic a lot. The only time he could get lower, he was cupping the mic, so I didn't feel like that was put a little asterisk next to it. They were okay. I mean, they were not bad. It's just I'm kind of indifferent about them. They're not horrible, but I see some potential in them. But sometimes their breakdowns are a bit stale,
Mm-hmm.
But they had some moments. I was like, that was kind of cool. They had a good amount of energy, I think, and you could tell they were a band that kind of knew what they were doing, rather than been a band for a week. First band, but I'm just gonna keep complaining about them. This is only reviewing Danger Kids. Name is stupid anyway. I never wanted to hear that name for a band.
No.
Danger Kids.
You can tell they're queer from that.
Might as well just call themselves the Goonies or whatever. The Goonie Kids or Hope Kids or Follow Your Dreams or something with the name Crown in it. That seems to be pretty popular. I Killed the Prom Queen they were kind of decent. I mean, there are some small things I have with the band itself. The performance was great. I think pretty good for a second band.
Honestly, compared to the first band, this band
That
looked
too.
like God.
Yeah.
They really did. They were just light shining onto the sky, from the sky. What am I saying? I don't fucking know. No, but honestly, they were pretty cool. I like the older songs that they played. They were a band for a little while back, 2003, 2006, whatever, and then they broke up for a while. Then they recently got together, put out a new album this year, all that stuff. So I was digging the older songs because I felt like they had that old school metalcore vibe to them, old As Lay Dying, Killswitch Engage, Parkway Drive is what this band
reminded me
really
of Darkest
reminds me
Hour
of.
a little bit.
Yeah, like bands like that, they had that vibe going on. They were fast, they were heavy. Those songs I felt were kind of metalcore done right in that there's riffs, the breakdowns just come like that, and just they transition to it perfectly. It has a really big chorus. There wasn't an overabundance of clean vocals and stuff. It was cool. I was really liking the older songs, and the newer songs weren't bad. The only thing I don't like about this band is the vocalist. I mean, he really has to develop his voice a lot more. It's so raspy. It's like if I was honestly trying to do screams. It's just
Sounds beginner.
yeah, it really does, and it's so noticeable when they played. I don't know, when they opened, they just played something soft and he screamed over it, and it was their second to last song. There was a soft part and he screamed over it, and it was just, you could tell it kind of made you cringe a little bit. It was like, oh, dude. But I mean, he wasn't bad. They had a high energy set. They weren't a bad band. They were pretty cool. Honestly, they were pretty heavy and stuff. So I see a lot of potential in this band, like Sam said. They gotta improve some things, keep the riffs, and if you have the breakdowns, put them where they should be. Don't make them last too long.
Spice them up a bit.
Yeah, keep the pretty decent songwriting, and keep the amount of clean vocals that they have. They need to keep because it's a good amount. It's not too much. So yeah. So the next band was The Ghost Inside. Bob Lee's Ghost Inside.
Bob Lee's Ghost Inside. They were powerful. I mean, I've seen this band a number of times now. I feel I can say a number. That's a measurement. I've seen them a number of times. And they really bring the heat. Yeah, when you can listen to them sometimes and say, the song sounds similar in ways, like breakdowns could kind of sound similar in ways. Sometimes I notice that, but regardless of that, like Tyler said earlier, the bands go up there and they talk about this and that. This is a band that really sticks behind what they talk about. Jonathan, the singer, he really sticks with what he talks about. You can tell he's a good dude, and he goes up there and he's just honest and he has fun, and I think that's what they're all about. Not like a party band or something, but just having good fun at a show. Really good vibes from them, and they played a decent number of songs. They didn't play White Light. They played like Chrono, and I always call it What Do You Stand For?
Between the Lines.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Another song. Another song that I just remember lyrics from their song. One is All for One and One for All. I just remember them by some of the lyrics. I'm an idiot. They played a decent amount of songs from The Great Unknown, and I think they played The Great Unknown.
Region 45. They
yeah. The one thing I was hoping, I mean, I wouldn't really want to put the guy through it, but I've seen them. Last time I've seen them, Jonathan gave this very emotional speech before they played White Light, and I was hoping they would play White Light again. It's such an emotional song. It would take a huge toll because I mean, seeing Jonathan talk about it, it's an experience, but you don't really want to put the guy through it because every time he sings about it, he looks distraught and everything. I mean, it's about his brother, but I was kind of hoping they would play that song. I wanted that emotion because it's always good to get that feeling from a show, and they give off that feeling. But that song, it's like times 10. But they played some good songs, Dark Horse, and they played one from their first album. I forget what it is. Forgive something.
Faith or Forgiveness.
Yeah. And that's about it. They were good. Jonathan sounded great, and I don't know any other members' names. I feel like they've had some lineup changes. I remember they used to have a guy named KC, but I'm not sure if it was a band anymore. I don't know. Jonathan sounded powerful and good energy, everything. A classic Ghost Inside show.
For a while, recently, I've really grown out of hardcore. Well, maybe not grown out. I've just moved away from it. I've got really kind of tired of it, and just, I don't know, it just started to really get repetitive and boring to me. But this was always one of my favorite bands in hardcore, and I mean, you can say this band's, not hardcore enough because they're not in harm's way and they're not killing each other on stage and you don't die in the fucking pit. I don't know. I'm not into that side of hardcore. I'm more into, I guess, more melodic hardcore bands like Counterparts and The Ghost Inside and stuff. But tonight made me realize how much I actually kind of really dig this band. I mean, it was almost breathtaking just watching them and how much the crowd was into it, how much they got people just moving and everybody was fucking singing along, how happy they looked to be there, how it just really seemed like they were up there to enjoy playing music and not just there to make fucking money or whatever and move on to the next show and get the tour over with or whatever. It seemed like they were actually really happy to be there. And they were, I mean, seriously, go see The Ghost Inside, and if you tell me you didn't have fun, or they weren't heavy and energetic, you're just lying to yourself. You really are, because they were heavy as shit. I mean, right from the beginning when they played Engine 45, that riff is so crunchy, and that was just so awesome. And just how, Jonathan always has a smile on his face. He's always shoving the mic in the crowd and, kind of, getting in the crowd, getting everybody into it. It was really, really cool to watch. And it was by far the best performance I've ever seen from this band. It was very, very cool. One that I feel is very, very memorable. The Chameleon Club's not a very memorable place to me, and while they usually have, some good shows there, I don't know, for some reason they just don't always stick in my mind. But this is certainly a performance that will stick in my mind as being like, wow. I haven't listened to their new album too much, The Great Unknown, but I'm definitely going to be checking it out because songs like Dark Horse and 33 and the title track that they played were just fucking awesome. And they played Unspoken. That's a great song. And Chrono, Between the Lines. All kinds of shit. I mean, they put on a very, very high energy set. And I loved it. It was very, very cool to watch. And yeah, buddy. I wasn't expecting to be this impressed by them, honestly. But they were very, very good. So, I mean, if you just want something with energy and something that'll give you good vibes and just smile, but then you still want to fucking rage at the same time, Ghost Inside. Bob Lee's Ghost Inside. Bob Lee's Ghost. Frank Sizemore's Double Ghost. Look all his bands up. Good bands. And the devil wears Prada.
They are one of the tightest bands you could see.
Here, Nancy.
What?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, and here. Mostly here. You could see them. I guess they look okay. But yeah, to hear them. One thing I was saying earlier about this band when we were coming home was that they have some of my favorite live. They have some of my favorite palm mutes and like stops in the music. Like at the end of Untitled, where they do that breakdown whole thing, where they stop. Like it just sounds like the guitars completely cut out the stop so quickly, and then Andy's like chugging away on the bass, and it comes back. It's like dun 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 dun. And it's just like stops so quickly, and that's one of my favorite things. And just the way that Dan can hit the snare, or the way he works the double bass, it just sounds so like everything crunched into one. Like that beat that you're looking for in a breakdown, that just comes so, it's so great. It hits how it should hit, and that's one of the best things in music, when something sounds like it should sound, like it delivers on time in 30 minutes or less. And
Your money back.
Yeah, and they were great. I mean, vocally it sounded like Mike was wearing himself out towards the end, because I can't really say that's a bad thing, because he's like running around the entire time, and I mean, he must like altogether run like at least 2 miles on stage each night, because he's like back and forth and he's jumping around, and I don't know how he even gets anything out to begin with. He's must be in great shape. But yeah, he started to sound a bit, worn down towards the end, but I can't complain about that. He sounded great. Jeremy sounded a bit quiet sometimes, but it may have just been the mic. The Chameleon doesn't have the best sound in the world. But I mean, for what they sounded like, they sounded good. I could actually hear Chris's screams this time. He sounded pretty good. One thing you'll kind of notice about this band, if you see them live compared to studio, is one, live they are so loud and you feel the room shake when it should shake, like during a breakdown or good parts. And sometimes during riffs, you'll notice that it doesn't exactly sound like it does studio. It seems like Chris uses some other kind of effect or some other, setting on his little thing. It just sounds somewhat different, but overall, it's still great. I mean, Dan sounded. He's one of my favorite parts about seeing the band live. He's such a good, clean drummer that he puts in good beats and everything, and they're just such a great band to see. I mean, if you haven't seen them, you should definitely see them. Definitely check them out because they are so not the band they were like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. They're a heavy, good sounding band these days, and they're pretty decent guys. And one thing that did bother me is that while Mike was talking about how 10% of the proceeds go to a charity, these guys before that started chanting Reptar. And if you follow Devil Wears Prada, you kind of know them a bit. They won't play that song really. It's people they're chanting Reptar, and Mike went up. He said no. It was funny. People laughed. And then afterwards, when Mike was talking about a serious thing, a charity, people started chanting it again, and it was annoying. And then he kind of interrupted, and he kept trying to talk, and then they went into a song, and they played 818. And during that song, people were still talking in the crowd and stuff, and they wanted to play Reptar. Bobby's hungry. They play Reptar. That's funny. The guy keeps yelling. It's like, while the band is playing, I mean, I wouldn't blame them, Devil Wears Prada, for not wanting to come back to the Chameleon Club, because I already have kind of a set opinion on that. The Chameleon is full of douchebags.
It really is.
Yeah, and I mean, it was kind of funny, Jonathan from the Ghost Inside talking about how the Lancaster music scene is so good.
That was hilarious.
But
no.
yeah. No.
Unless you call him 1 year later, good.
Yeah. But it was just beyond rude and annoying, especially when it was talking about something, they're talking about 10% of the proceeds go to this. I can't even tell you what he said because they interrupted him and they were talking over him and chanting, Reptar, Reptar, we're fucking stupid. And, of course, every concert I get Krusty McFucknut standing in front of me with his greasy hair, whipping it back on me, and he's too tall, and there's space in front of him, but he has to stand directly in front of me. He can't move, especially when some Muscles McGee kind of guy comes up and shoves him out of the way. He has to move back in front of me. He can't stay. Minor things like that kind of bothered me during the band playing, but I mean, what are you gonna do? They were great though. They're great every time. If you were too nitpicky, I mean, you could say, oh, the vocals weren't exactly spot on every time, but they don't need to be spot on. They just need to be sincere, and they need to have character.
Not gonna lie though, he kind of does that Amir thing a lot, where he talks and then he screams.
Sometimes, I mean, he doesn't lead into it.
Yeah,
he
doesn't really build it up. But
he's winded a lot. He's winded a lot, and he ends words early.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing it purposely.
Yeah, he's running around all the time. I mean, but still,
The Dingus Eats Pizza, they were really good. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy this band. And one thing I just thought was weird, they played song after song after song until probably halfway through their set before they finally were like, hey, what's up? And, I saw Mastodon 2 years ago, and they literally played a hour and a half set without saying a goddamn thing to the crowd, and they kind of lost me after a while. And I don't know, I just don't like when bands do that. I mean, it's cool, you're getting your money's worth. You're there to hear them play music rather than just talk. But I feel after every, 3 or 4 songs, you should just say something, even if it's just 10 seconds or whatever. Hey, this next song is this. I don't know. It just, before that, they were starting to lose me just a little bit. And I was just like, dude, you kind of got to just take a small little break here and just say, hey, what's up? Come on, dog. But other than that, they were really good. Well, the show started at 6 o'clock. and they were done, and it was over at 9:30. They played an hour, right? Yeah, because they were on around like 8:30. I thought they were just. I pulled out my phone. It was like 9:35. I was like, "You got to be kidding me! Like, are they seriously done?" And I mean, we looked their setup. They did play 16 songs, but it was just pretty crazy. I've never been to a show that ended at 9:30. That was crazy.
That's kind of how I felt about seeing them the last time. It felt like their set went by so quickly. But I guess that's in part because they don't stand up there and give a speech about hope or whatever too much. They kind of like they'll play a song and like automatically go into the next song, and then maybe the stage will go black for like 2 seconds. I don't know how they see, but then they'll come back.
If they weren't doing a headlining tour, and I feel they were opening up for another band and trying to gain new fans to a new audience, that's the wrong thing to do, because you're opening up to a lot of people that don't know you, and you're trying to get them to know you and stuff. So that would be the wrong thing to do. But at a headliner, I guess you can do it because most of the people are there to see you. So that was okay. One of my favorite parts of the set was they played Kansas and then went straight into War. Just the way they did that. That was just so cool. And they had a really, really good light show going on. I mean, it was just some little mounted, little tit lights, but they looked very, very cool. And they added a lot to it. Mike Karanikas just one crazy motherfucker. He makes a lot of funny faces, and he just doesn't really stand still.
Jogging in place sometimes.
Yeah, and he'll do that.
A couple times he was like doing this or something like that.
Yeah, and the one time he like nearly he was like standing on top of a monitor looking at those mirrors that are up on the wall, just like yelling at the mirrors.
Yelling at himself.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then they stopped at one point, and then they stopped for like a brief 2 seconds, and then what did he say? He was like, oh yeah. And then they went into it.
Yeah, the one song was like, alright.
Yeah.
It was outnumbered.
Alright. And then they just played something really heavy. Now, one thing about this band live is that their breakdowns hit so much harder than they do live. Like, they just destroy. It's something about them that are just crunchy and heavy as shit. They are so awesome live.
Especially the song Martyrs. Like, if you listen to the album, it should hit so much harder on the album.
Or the song Escape, when they play that one just absolutely beefy riff a little ways into the song. That was just awesome. Overall, extremely tight performance. Very, very, very good performance. I recommend seeing The Devil Wears Prada live. Honestly, I honestly do. They're a very good band live. So, that's about all I have to say.
See The Devil Wears Prada. See The Ghost Inside. Maybe see I Killed the Prom Queen. I mean, if you're into them. If you've never seen them before, never listened to them, maybe listen to them. And if they're on a tour, it's not the worst thing in the world. You'll have fun. Don't see Danger Kids. Don't support that band at all, because music is just,
No.
It should be a good thing to listen to. And if you like that band, if you're like one of the 5 people, hopefully less than that like that band and really support them. I'm not trying to be a douche to this band. I'm just saying, come back when you have something real. Like, not even Linkin... Oh, yeah. I'm just going to complain about this band a little bit more. Not even Linkin Park rapping. I mean, it's not even rapping. You want to listen to, like, rap. You listen to, like, Eminem. He's apparently the best one out there. Like, Tyler, the Creator, or anyone. Like, Jay-Z, the king of rap. What he was doing wasn't rapping. It was white guy rap.
Yeah, it really was.
Just don't see them. I'm tired of bands like that coming around.
Find a band with a lot more substance to it. Yeah. There's nothing to this band.
Like the 2 top bands on this tour.
Yeah, it's like Frank Sizemore's Quadruple Ghost. It just barely doesn't exist. See you guys later.